It's live, it's topical. Still no Judy at the moment, though.
I'm Richard.
And I'm not Judy.
And the Oscar for the most sprout-faced actor goes to...
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Wake up! Put on your clothes, another day's dawning. Turn on your TV. Time to watch This Morning with Richard, not Judy. Let down your hairs, forget all your cares. Kick off your shoes, here is the news. Take off your shirt, here is the dirt. Take off your pants, thanks. With Richard, not Judy. For better, not worse, it's live, not rehearsed. Made fun of money, surprisingly funny. Welcome your hosts, and all futures do. They have no idea, so let's see how they do. This Morning with Richard, not Judy.
Thank you. I am Stewart Lee.
And I'm called Richard Herring, and welcome to Womranger. Yeah, see, Stu, every time I say Womranger, they shout it out.
Yeah, it's not crackerjack, Rich. It's kids,
Hey, the one person.
Yeah, well done. Yeah, and, welcome to the show that has already been described by one caller to the BBC as quite insulting towards famous people, both dead and alive.
I'll tell you who I think's rubbish, Stu. Dr. Benjamin Spock and Jonathan Aitken's daughter.
You don't learn, do you?
No, I did. I just get worse if they complain. I do it. Well, it's terrible though. The Jonathan Aitken thing, his daughter. You know, I mean, if we're to be believed what they say in the papers, he made his daughter lie for him, and now she faces jail. But I mean, you have to be a pretty harsh judge to send a 17-year-old girl to prison for lying for her father.
Yeah, I hope he does, though.
Yeah, hand me.
Anyway, today is Mother's Day, so if you're a teenager, I expect you got up about 10 minutes earlier than you usually do, and then took your mum some undercooked eggs and a spilt cup of tea, and are now acting as if you're entitled to do nothing around the house for the next year.
I love my mum, though, She's the best mum in the world. If you're watching, Mum, I'd just like to say Happy Mother's Day, and to show you how much I love you, I've made you this.
What, a spice rack?
Yes, a spice rack.
So you make her a spice rack every year, don't
Yeah,
you?
and I will continue to do so, Stu, until I see her using one of them. Okay. Use the spice rack! Don't you like spices, you ungrateful old whore? Oh. What's wrong with you? Spice up your life, come on!
Woman, every boy!
Nobody loves their mum as much as I do,
Yeah,
Stu.
OK, all right.
Nobody.
What about Oedipus, Rich? He really loved his mum.
Well, Oedipus,
Yeah,
Stu.
yeah, in classical myth, right, Oedipus so loved his mother that he killed his father and then gouged out his own eyes.
Yeah. You should have just made her a spice rack, shouldn't you?
How different the world would have been then. The phrase Oedipus complex would be used to describe not a man who wanted to make love to his mother, but a man who wanted to make love to a small wooden herb storage facility.
Well, maybe Oedipus did make his mum a spice rack, Stu, and it was the fact that she showed no interest in it that sent him over the edge. Okay, 30 years! 30 years of spice rack, whore!
OK, stop now. Actually, I've got a picture of you, Rich, with your mum when you were a baby.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think we can get it up on it. There it is. There.
It's not the picture,
Now say she doesn't look like Bobby Robson.
That isn't a real picture you've made. That, look, that's in colour, that's in black and white. Look, that peels off. It's not real.
I got it off your mantelpiece.
You did not.
Anyway, time to meet the team today.
Will you please welcome at the information couch, husband and wife fact duo, Joe Unwin and her husband, the actor Kevin Eldon. Yay.
And playing the music, our musician, Richard Thomas, who's been described as looking like Ted Danson in a hermit's wig. And Joe Unwin as well.
You really love it. It's nice, baby. It's great.
Yeah, and full of the joys of spring, please welcome new bar slave duo, Trevor and Natalie.
Trevor and Natalie
They're easy on the eye.
You like being dressed as a daffodil, Trev? You like that? You like? You can't speak, don't speak.
Leave him alone.
It's good, actually, Trev, because it makes your face look even smaller.
Shut up, leave him alone.
Go on, off you go. Go on.
Here are this week's aims. Aim what? To genuinely put Leonardo DiCaprio in an iron mask and to write, "I look like a sprout" on the front of it in Tibet.
Aim 2 is to beat the world record for transplanting a liver into a 3-day-old baby by transplanting a liver into a 2-day-old baby, whether it needs a new liver or not.
Aim 3, to genuinely put Leonardo DiCaprio below decks in an ocean-going liner, crash it into an iceberg and then hold his little sprout head under the water Until he be dead.
Right? Aim for... Getting applause for that. From blokes. Yeah, aim for... To punish the blabbermouth directors of Newcastle United by forcing them to drink their own weight in Newcastle Brown.
No one deserves that punishment. Aim 5. To genuinely have Leonardo DiCaprio shaved from head to foot, painted red and smashed in the face with shovels.
What? What Leonardo DiCaprio film is that in, Rich?
One that I am currently writing.
Right.
Those are the aims. Over to Joe and the actor Kevin Eldon for this week's phone-in.
Thanks, fellas. Now, this week's phone-in addresses the fact that our weekly Men of Achievement 1974 feature is dividing opinion across the country between the people who think it's not funny and the one man who wants it on BBC One 24 hours a day. So the question is, do you think Men of Achievement 1974 should appear in this week's show?
Dial 0891 33 88 01 for yes.
0891 33 8801 for yes.
Dial 0891 33 88 02 for no.
0891 33 8802 for no.
And dial 0891 33 88 03 if you think the actor Kevin Eldon here looks a bit like a monkey and that I could do a lot better.
0891 33 88.
Yeah, that's not funny.
Dial now for those monkey facts. And last week, in honour of Mother's Day, we asked you to tell us why your mum should be this week's queen of the show. And joining us here on the sofa is little Amber Manson, who's 14 years old.
14.
Imagine
imagine.
So, 14 years old.
14. Oh. Why is your mum the best mum in the world, then?
Why?
Okay. Well, she's got these wonderful little ankle bells and she lets me borrow them when I want to look interesting, and she's got quite big hair, as you'll see in a minute, and it's good for hiding behind.
Right, there's a good reason.
Ankles and big hair. Well, Amber, those reasons enough, believe it or not, were enough to mean that your mum, Kate Mansell, is this week's queen of the show. Crown the queen. And Queen Kate now doing officially spoils the flowers there from Trevor. Milk tray and black magic. Ferrero Rocher chocolates were spoiling her. And a spice rack from Richard Herring. And another spice rack, more spice racks than anyone could ever need. Truly, a mother was never loved so much. The Queen is crowned.
I'm the Queen. Let's sit down. There we go. With your spice racks. Do you like your spice racks, Queen Kate?
Yes, I like this long one particularly.
Do you? You like a long spice rack? That's I made that. See? She likes them, mother. She likes them. Look, she wants it. I hate you. I hate you, mother.
I would like to believe in God, said a naive young man to me. But there are so many religions in the world, how can I be sure that yours is the correct one? Because, I replied, all the others are obviously wrong, and mine is right.
Unusual priest there. Now, Queen Kate, as Queen, not only will you be fondled by a man whose face is so small it looks like it has been taken off the front of his head, washed in a far too hot wash, shrunk, and then stuck back onto the front of his head without any thought for how ridiculous it would look.
Leave him alone, he's beautiful.
You will also get to eat whatever you desire from this...
The Mother's Day Mother's Trolley! Here it comes. Here comes Matt, bringing in. Laden with all beautiful things that all mothers would like. There's mum deodorant there. There's everything. There's lots of products here from the obscure 1980s food range My Mum's.
That's right, they're the same as real products, but slightly inferior. My Mum's lemonade there. My Mum's tea bags. My Mum's crackers.
And here's some of My Mum's milk
You are
there.
sick.
Not bad for a 60-year-old woman. And so I'm not sexist. Here's some of my dad's
You
milk.
are sick. You are sick.
You can lactate. It's very unusual.
You are sick. You are.
And also, My Mum's Golden Graham.
That's nice. How could they possibly?
Yeah.
Actually, genuinely popular, so I'll forget that line. Anyway.
And for anyone who was a mother in Britain during the 1970s...
Loads and loads of Valium!
There you are. Now, Queen Kate, you can have anything you want from this trolley. What would you like from this?
Well, the Grahams sound really tasty.
The Grahams, here they come.
Golden Graham, the Queen has spoken.
There we go. Hooray! Now it's time to see what's coming up later on To Woomranger. At 12:25, we'll be finding out from Norman Bates how he'll be spending his Mother's Day.
Mother! Oh, God! And at 12:30, we'll be remembering the life and work of the world's most famous mother, Mother Teresa, as we take a look at a set of previously unpublished explicit glamour shots.
At 12:49, we'll be genuinely planting Leonardo DiCaprio in an allotment to see if he will sire a harvest of giant sprouts.
Leave him alone. At
He's a horrible
12:56,
bloke.
we'll be revealing a cure for Andrew Lloyd Webber's mystery illness, unless we receive £5,000 in unmarked bills. But first, here's someone who really hates his mother. Look at this.
Like all mothers, Mother Nature is a woman and is thus temperamental and untrustworthy. Sometimes she soothes us, letting us suck at her dry dugs, but other times she slaps us and takes her dugs away. Hi, I'm Greg Evigan from My Two Dads, but now I'm presenting this show, When Insects Attack. This week, worm.
Well, I was playing and my friend went down the slide first and then I went down there and then he was waiting and then I stood there and he got a worm and he was chasing me with it.
Remember, this is the original camcorder footage.
And I was really frightened and I got to the slide and I was trapped. And he started wiggling it in front of my nose and put it on my nose. And then I went like that and just shuffled it off. Then the worm went and we just started playing happily again.
Well, Michael will be thinking twice before playing with a worm again. His tiny mind has already experienced the actuality of what can happen when insects attack. I'm Greg Evigan. Bye-bye. I made this?
Greg Evigan there. Greg Evigan. Greg Evigan.
That was a good day's work, coming home being able to say, I have made children chase each other with worms today. Anyway, Rich, what have you been up to this week?
Well, I've been doing one of my favourite hobbies, Stu, again. I've been out shoplifting,
Not shoplifting?
Stu.
How many times?
You
For
don't
God's
understand.
sake.
You see, you don't understand what I'm doing by shoplifting. I'm not just stealing things like that, Stu. What I'm doing is I'm betraying the very rules of this so-called society. I'm an anarchist. I'm like the modern-day Dukes of Hazzard, I am, Stu. I'm like my hero, the controversial Kill the Police LA rapper, Ice-T. I'm exactly the same as him, Stu. I'm exactly the same.
There's more to being like Ice-T than just doing that with your hands, right?
There is,
Otherwise,
Stu.
the blokes from East 17 would be like Ice-T, wouldn't it? It's rubbish.
You don't understand, Stu. This is how Ice-T shoplifts, right? He walks into a shop, goes like, yo, how you doing? And then he sees, like, some cream eggs there. He picks them and he can hide them in there. And walks out like that. He goes, yeah, nothing today, thanks, shopkeeper. See ya. And he's look. That's how he does what Ice-T does, Stu. That's why I'm the same as Ice-T, exactly.
You are not the same as Ice-T.
I am,
Look at the
exactly.
facts, right? Ice-T, he's an advocate of free speech.
Yeah.
Black rights.
Yeah.
He's a self-made man, anti-capitalist, and he's got a huge arsenal of guns, right? You are a small, fat, middle-class white man from Cheddar in Somerset with a huge arse. Do you see what I did when I turned around? Arse, it was good. Do you think Ice-T's mum, like yours, looks like Bobby Robson?
My mum doesn't look like Bobby Robson.
Do you think people say, oh, Ice, I saw you driving around South Central the other day with ex-England football supremo Bobby Robson in your car, and he was wearing an old woman's floral print dress?
Shut up, my mother.
And do you think that when Ice-T does like a gig in his hometown, his mum checks all his material before and makes him remove any of the swearing so she won't be embarrassed, like your mum did to us?
You shut up.
I think she goes, oh, Ice, would you mind not singing Bitches 2 tonight because Mr Dean from the sports shop is in? I think she does
You
that.
shut up about that.
And is your mum going to be making sure we don't say anything rude at Bristol Old Vic on April the 26th, Rich, and following us around on our 31-day April and May tour, details of which can be obtained by writing to at the end of this show from the address you can see in the credits?
Yeah, I like what you're doing there. She's quite subtle the way you got that in against the
I
rules.
don't think the BBC will notice if we just move on and don't draw
fools,
attention.
that John
And do you
Burke.
think Ice-T's dad is called Keith, like yours, Rich? Keith T. Do you think he's called that? Keith T.
If you knew anything about anything, Stu, that you know that Ice-T's dad isn't called Keith
No, he's not,
T.
is he, Rich?
That would be ridiculous.
No, he's not called that.
He's called Mr T from
He's
the
not.
80s. That is his dad.
He's not.
Mr T.
Over to Joe Unwin and the actor Kevin Eldon for this week's listings.
Thanks, guys. Thanks. Well, I don't know about you, but I'm lusting for a listing, so it's over to Joe. Come on.
Right. First this week, gravel. Gravel will be thrown into the faces of sick children by excited priests at York Minster this Friday. The gravel, which may have the power to cure minor illnesses, will begin to be thrown at 9 a.m.
I love that. And how about this? Munchkin, Merlin, Merkin, March. Are you one of the original actors who played the part of a tiny munchkin in Judy Garland's Wizard of Oz? Do you believe you are a reincarnation of the mystical wizard Merlin? Do you wear a merkin? Then you might like to take part in the Munchkin, Merlin, Merkin March from Melksham to Matlock on Monday morning. I refuses to believe I'm the only person in the world who'd enjoy an event of this kind, says the parade's organiser Ian Catby, a 3-foot, 90-year-old Merlin lookalike who hasn't got a hair on his body. Sounds fascinating. And that's all the listings
Oh, no,
for this week.
because, Richard, aren't you doing something this week?
Yeah, just a little jazz gig, you know. Yeah.
Yeah. Our pianist, Richard Thomas, is playing with the Little Timmy Tinky Coltrane Tribute Trad Jazz Trio at Pizza Place in Bedford on Tuesday night.
Thanks. Oh, is he really? Well, I'm sure there'll be plenty of tickets available for that. I think that's all the listings for this week, unless, of course, my wife has any more unscheduled surprises for us here.
No.
Oh, good. All right, fellas, that's all. Thank you very much.
Is that it, Kev? Isn't it? What about the Tony Blair's joke?
No, not this week, no.
Oh, come on, it was so good last week with the director inquiry thing. I've been really looking forward to it all week.
Well, that's the point, Rich. See, the standard was very high. I can't let it drop, see. I can't keep it up every week.
It's not all you can't keep up.
You said what? You said, what? Sorry, you said something about I can't keep something up. Now, would you perhaps like to tell the ladies and gentlemen in the studio and at home, an old keyboard dick over there, what I can't keep up?
You're making a fool of yourself, Kevin.
Oh, no, I'm not making a fool of myself. Do you want me to make a fool of myself? I'll make a fool of myself. Hey, I'm talking to you over there. Yeah, Mr. Bojangles. Hey. Now, just listen up. Hey, I happen to love this little lady, yeah? And sure, we've had some bad times. Mighty bad times. But the good times, let me tell you, fella, they've been sweet. So just back off, Jack.
Well, that Munchkin event sounds good, doesn't it? To Womanjar!
Yeah, anyway, if you see The Sun this week, Rich, there's this kid's been in the paper all week claiming he's been abducted by aliens from space, right? Yeah. There are the aliens there. Oh, that's his mum and dad. Look, they're very similar, though.
I got abducted by aliens once, actually, Stu. I woke up in this strange bed in a room I'd never been in before. I was wearing a woman's bra, an old man's pants, a bright ginger merkin, Stu, a gas mask, and the aliens had left their kind of milk all over me, all smeared all over my face.
Alien milk?
Yeah, I lapped some of it up, you know, to see what it was like, and it was horrible tasting milk. It was kind of brackish taste, not like milk at all, really.
Alien milk?
Yeah, I think that's why they come to Earth, because alien milk is so awful. They come here to get our nice planet Earth milk. Yeah. That is why I believe, Stu, that they fly around in saucers.
See, Richard's been getting the jokes off lolly sticks again there.
It's not a joke, Stu.
No.
I'm in deadly earnest.
Well,
So the thing is, I don't understand about aliens. What's all that? Who are these aliens?
Well,
where do they come from? What's going on, Stu?
The best way that I can explain that to you is by the use of this educational programme for the under fives. I always tape it off the telly for some reason. Yeah, and I taped it off cable TV this week.
Oh, good.
Oh, hello, me hearties. It's me, Histor, Sky TV's magic one-eyed pirate history crow. It's night time, so I'm going to get my telescope and navigate by the stars.
Here you are, Histor. Look through here.
Thank you, Pliny. What? What on earth? These aren't the stars. All I seem to be able to see are the internal digestive organs of a man as viewed by the rectum. This isn't a telescope.
Oh, sorry, Histor. I thought you said endoscope. The fibre optic tube used by doctors to perform investigations into the bowel, namely endoscopies.
No, you numbskull. I said telescope,
Sorry,
not
Histor.
endoscope.
I thought you said endoscope. Anyway, what's the news, Histor?
Well, you may have seen on the grown-up news that there's been some people who've seen UFOs.
What is a UFO, Histor? Although I have a full working knowledge of obscure medical procedures, I have never heard the phrase UFO before.
It means unidentified flying object.
Unidentified flying object.
Some people think that they are the spacecraft of aliens.
Aliens? I hate hands.
No, aliens.
Aliens.
Aliens from outer space. Come with me now, Pliny, as the crow flies.
What place is this, Histor?
This is Roswell in New Mexico.
You Mexico?
No, not Mexico. Mexico, stop it. This is the location of one of the most famous UFO sightings ever, as popularised by shows like The X-Files.
The X-Files?
Oh, I didn't expect that.
Have you got some kind of problem?
Look, in the sky, a UFO. Let's fly aboard. There you are, Pliny. Fly through that hatch.
Hatch, like an egg hatches. Hatch. Oh, who's that strange-looking man?
Hello there, Histor. It is me. I am the Roswell alien.
Alien.
And I come from my planet, X4.
X4.
To bring you scientific advances, medical knowledge, and a brand new kind of breakfast cereal.
Oh, that's very nice of you, Roswell alien.
Alien.
See, Pliny, aliens are real. Pliny?
I wonder what this lever does.
No, Pliny, don't touch that lever. It makes the UFO crash. I don't know why we put it in, really. No!
Well, I hope you're pleased with yourself, Pliny Harris. Your foolish actions have probably created the spark that could ignite a full-scale intergalactic war.
Sorry, Histor, I didn't think.
Shut up! Give me the telescope again, Pliny. Ah, look, I can see Uranus.
Sorry, Histor, I must have given you the endoscope again. Bye!
No, you're not Uranus. Uranus,
Oh,
the
sorry,
planet.
Histor, I thought you meant my anus.
No, I would never say anus on Sky TV. Anyway, third statement.
Do you understand now, Rick?
Yeah, those crows have made it a lot clearer,
Yeah,
Stu.
yeah.
Do you want some of my mum's milk, Queen Kate? It's
no
delicious.
thanks.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
It's lovely. It's suckered me. In my life.
You know Queen Kate was Miss Perry-Barr in 1966.
Give her a round of applause.
thank you.
That's a place in Birmingham or something like that. Do you feel, you know that sometimes when you fancy your mate's mum?
All right, leave that.
I
now.
won't.
No. Do you like Trevor? Have you had time to check him out?
Yeah,
Quite nice,
I
isn't
think
he?
his petals are beautiful.
They are. Of course, those are false. You know that. But actually, I'm glad I've seen Trevor there. The my mum's Leonardo DiCaprio. Imagine if I'd managed to say that properly. It may have been funny. I guess we'll never know.
Try it
now.
against you. We'll all try and forget that
Okay.
you said it wrong. Okay.
Trevor Lock there, the my mum's Leonardo DiCaprio.
No, it wouldn't have worked. Stu.
Yeah. Was one bloke laughing in a sarcastic way.
It was Richard Thomas.
Yes, nothing to be gained from that. But actually, a lot of Trevor's mates have been writing in saying that his face isn't really small, right? So I've decided to put that for the test once and all. There you are. Now that is a small face, isn't it? There's no way, no
Leave
two
him
ways
alone,
about
Stu.
it. Can no
Get
denying
him,
it.
Trevor. You're beautiful.
In my father's house, there are many rooms, and if more guests turn up than expected, he has a sofa bed and some blow-up lilos for the younger visitors.
You know,
You can
that's
tap
the,
if you want.
yeah, no, don't bother. You know the best mother in the world is.
No,
do you
who's
know
the
it?
best mother in the
It is
world?
the Queen Mother.
The
Stu.
Queen
But
Mother.
Yeah, I'll tell you why. Because she just lies there in a palace all day, being serviced by hundreds of men who impregnate her. She gives birth to hundreds of children, and then she throws out her lovers into the cold to die.
No, Rich, I think what you've done there is you've confused the Queen Mother with the Queen Ant, haven't you?
Yes, I have. Yeah,
That's where the humour arose from.
Yeah, because they both got Queen in them.
Yeah.
Though, admittedly, the second part of it doesn't sound very similar. It's
No,
an
no.
unlikely
An
misunderstanding.
unlikely error.
But it did happen. Do you have any fond memories of your own mother?
Yeah, I do actually. I remember when I was a little kid, the first time I ever got drunk, I was about 13 years old. And I got drunk on this cheap Greek wine. And I went home and I went into the bathroom and I was just sick on the floor in there. And then I was sick all down my clothes after that, and all my clothes were all covered in sick. And then I was sick into the sink, and that all full of sick. So I tried to scoop the sick out of the sink and put it down into the toilet until the toilet was actually full up with sick. It was overflowing with sick. And then my mum came in and she looked at the sick on the floor, and she looked at the sick all down my clothes, and at the sink they're all full up with sick, and then at the toilet across from that all overflowing with sick, and then at me standing there with my 2 cupped hands full of sick. And she said to me, "Have you been sick?" And I said, "No." I got away with it as well that time, which was good. Just bluffed it out, you know, it was all right.
So, had you been sick or not?
I had been sick, yeah.
Just at the beginning of the story, you said you'd been sick, and then at the end you said you hadn't.
Comic purpose.
Well, no, it was a good story. I liked the story, Stu. It was a good story, but it didn't make sense.
Time to go over...
The second half
time
said
to
you
go
hadn't
over
been sick.
to Joe Unwin and the actor Kevin
makes
Eldon
sense.
for the phone-in update.
549 people have called in so far. 39% said they would like to see Men of Achievement.
23% said they'd like to see it scrapped.
And 38% said they think the actor Kevin Eldon looks like a monkey.
No monkey.
There we go.
The facts rolling in.
They are. So just at the moment, you're going to see Men of Achievement, but maybe not. Now, then our next guest actually used to teach me history. And now you might think our guests are going down the toilet if that's all he has going for him, but it isn't, because he's now world famous, because a little over a year ago, he discovered he was related to a very old skeleton.
That's right. So, will you please welcome from the Kings of Wessex School in Cheddar, in Somerset, Mr. Adrian Target.
Here he is.
The real man.
He's real, this is all true.
Real man.
Mr. Target, I don't feel I can call you Adrian, because you're always...
Feel
Mr.
free, Richard.
Can I?
Feel
Adrian.
free.
OK. Someone has to, I suppose. So, can you tell us what happened? How did this come about, that you're related to a very old skeleton?
Well, a television company came to do a programme about Cheddar because it's such an interesting place, as you know.
Yeah.
And
he wants to be mayor.
They wanted to photograph the caves, and they wanted to photograph the palace outside of the school. And they wanted to link the skeleton with some local people.
What skeleton? Remember, most towns don't just have skeletons like that.
Oh, we've got a very famous 9,000-year-old skeleton.
Right.
And they wanted to link local people with him. So they wanted to DNA some children. They got a sample of DNA from the skeleton.
What, and then you just said, can I do it as well?
No, I said some of the children didn't want to be DNA'd. They thought it was going to be dangerous injections and things like that. So
they're from Somerset.
I said, they were a bit suspicious. And so I said, I'll have it done just to show you there's nothing to it.
Right.
And it was me.
It was you.
It was
related. He was related to a 9,000-year-old, directly
Right.
related to a 9,000-year-old skeleton.
And how far away do you live now from where the skeleton was found?
Oh, 600 yards.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's Somerset for you, and this is where they're proud of the fact there's a bloke whose family hasn't moved in 10,000 years.
They have moved, Stu. They've moved 600 yards.
It's
Why do you
hardly
listen?
impressive, is it?
It's a long way to go. That is a long walk.
You live in a cave now, Mr. Target? Or have you
No, we don't live in caves in Cheddar anymore.
You've done so. What you're
the days when people lived in caves in Somerset, Stu, are long gone. Not since the 60s. Right. So there is an old woman in Shipley who lives in a hole in the ground. So it's not the same.
I've read about you in newspapers all around the world because you're related to an old piece of bone.
Yeah.
Do you think that's an achievement to be proud of?
Yeah, it is. In Cheddar, it's a great achievement.
What was that achievement of teaching Rich, who's now on TV? Was that famous? I think you actually, Mr. Target, brought in an old picture. If we can get that up, I don't know if it's. There it is. There. There's Rich when he was young. He had an arrow stuck to his head, going in the wrong direction traditionally.
That's good. What was I like at school, Mr. Target? Was I all right?
Words fail me.
Do you remember that time in the Ascension Day service in about 1983? And Mr. Herring, the headmaster, said, because we all got the same name down there, he said, can we have a minute's silence to remember Jesus ascending to heaven? And everyone was silent. And then one person in the congregation made a really loud burp that lasted about 5 seconds. Do you remember that?
No, I was already...
That was me, I did that.
Oh,
no
right.
one ever knew, but I've just revealed it.
I was already up the tower with the Reverend Denman.
Were you?
Then. Yeah.
That's why you got sacked from being vicar.
Yeah.
Well, if you've ever wondered what, it's like in Cheddar and the names of some of the people that live there, then now you know. If you haven't, probably feel slightly confused and bored by that. Mr. Adrian Target.
Adrian Chadger Target there. Adrian Chadger Target.
He's related to a skeleton. And now, let's have a look at some other teachers.
Come along, ladies and gentlemen, Come on.
School hours are precious, and there's very little time for discussing grievances. So, one lunchtime a month, the head sets aside 10 minutes to clear the air.
Now, come on. We've got a lot to get through. Take 1 cup of coffee and 1 biscuit. 1 biscuit, Mr. Harris, unless you're having no milk in your coffee, in which case you may take an extra biscuit, unless it is a chocolate biscuit. Now, get to your seats quickly and quietly.
Headmaster, can I have no coffee and 3 biscuits?
Don't be impertinent, Mr. Kennedy.
I'm not. I think your biscuit system is very good.
You obviously don't, so button it now.
I do. I think it's very important that we have a correct biscuit system. Imagine the anarchy that would occur, Headmaster, if people were allowed to just have as many biscuits as they want.
I am not interested in your Kenny Everett whimsy, Mr. Kennedy.
Because all I'm saying, right, why don't we have a system where any member of staff is allowed to have any one of any 3 items, be they coffee, biscuit or milk? That way you could have no coffee and 3 biscuits, or 2 biscuits and a little tiny cup of milk. Just about
Perfectly clear system. 2 biscuits maximum. Sit down.
But Mr. Kennedy is right up to a point, Headmaster.
Mr. Harris, joining the biscuit conspiracy. Oh, infamy. They've all got it in for me, as the late great Kenneth Williams
No,
said.
it's just that if Mr. Kennedy was allowed 3 biscuits and no coffee, and he didn't want one of his biscuits, then I might be allowed to have a milky coffee and 2 biscuits if one of Mr. Kennedy's rightful biscuits was transferred to my biscuit ration.
Take your milky coffee and 1 biscuit and sit down. May I remind you, you are on probation, Mr. Harris? Oh,
blimey.
Thank you so much.
Oh, no, my biscuit's gone all soggy.
Well, come on then, eat your biscuits. Hurry up, heat them.
Thank you, Alan.
Good. First item on the agenda. The perennial problem of mindless vandalism and graffiti in the staff toilets. Now, every week I print out a new polite notice on my home computer. Please do not throw cigarette ends down the toilet bowl. And every week some wag adds the legend, as it makes them difficult to relight. And I'm not sure, but I don't think in this case that there should be an apostrophe in makes. But I don't know. After all, I'm not an English teacher. Wait a minute, the bell is a signal for me, not for you. Right, we've no more time to cover the rest of the items. But next month I want no more of this biscuit nonsense. I hope that's clear. Yeah. Off you go. Walk!
Alan, you can have my biscuit. I didn't want it in the end.
Oh, Siobhan, thank you.
Excuse me.
Thanks. Thanks very much. And thanks for the biscuit. Thank you. And I love you. It was nice of Siobhan to give me a biscuit. I shall keep it for always as a reminder of her kind and caring soul. It's not as if it's one she wouldn't have wanted, you know, like a coconut one or a Hovis digestive. No, it's a happy facer. There's only 4 of those in the box, and they're always the first to go. That's another reason why the headmaster's biscuit system isn't fair, because it doesn't take into account that some biscuits are more popular than other ones. I must mention that at the next meeting. Still, every time I look at this biscuit, I'll be reminded of Siobhan's happy, smiling face, and who knows, one day, if God be willing in his heaven above, I might come home to see the real Siobhan's happy, smiling face there to greet me. Oh well, the marking must be done. Based on Mr. Target, that character. Not really. Now it's time to meet officially the most frightening citrus fruit ever to appear on Sunday lunchtime television. Will you please welcome the Curious Orange?
Hello, Mr. Rich. Hello, Mr. Stew. I am Curious Orange.
So, are you all right this week? You got a bit overexcited and upset last week, didn't you?
No, I'm fine, Mr. Rich. I've got it together. I'm on top of it now.
Good, I'm very pleased about that. So, what are you curious about this week, the Curious Orange?
Well, this week, Mr. Rich, I'm very curious about this cheeky conundrum.
We are going to have to stop you there.
What is this? What?
Well, we've got a special Mother Day surprise item for you.
The Curious Orange, you thought you were coming here this morning to confound Rich and Stu with another curious question.
Yeah.
But no, here she is. You haven't seen her since the day she bore you. The Curious Orange, this is your mother.
Hey! Oh, he's that's beautiful. Look at your mother. Your mum, she's come all the way.
You've got a nerve turning up here. Yeah, now that I'm on television, you ugly bent old crone. What have you ever done for me?
Curious Orange, be quiet. That's your mother. Have some respect. She bore you on her branches for nearly 6 weeks.
Who cares? I was always her least favourite. I mean, how dare you turn up now? Get out of here!
No.
I don't want to see her anymore.
Quick,
It's
get her out.
Jezebel Fancy Fruit Bush Bed Bucket!
It's back.
Get out of my sight!
Oh, no! Your mother is broken!
Oh, no.
Oh, no! I'm sorry, Mum! I'm sorry!
It's okay. Be quiet. Be quiet. It's all right. It's all... Stewart, get him! God! Get him off!
My name is Roger Crowley. You may know me by my wickedness. On Thursday, I saw an owl in my garden. Let the mayhem commence, I sneered, as I kicked the wise bird in the face. Unfortunately, on this occasion, the owl was a stone one that I used to decorate my rockery. And as I was barefoot at the time, I badly stubbed my toe. My plan had failed. But next time, believe me, my friends, the owl will be real, and all who pass may see my wickedness as his feathery face explodes against my boot. Oh yes, one day you will all see my power.
Oh, God. Look at that! Look what he's done to me! Damn that orange!
Sorry
Damn
about
into
those
hell!
incredible scenes of
thank
citrus
you,
fruit
Trevor.
violence there.
Thank you.
Now, a lot of people have been writing in. You're right. Yeah, asking if there's going to be another
Good acting,
series
isn't it?
of Toowoomranja. Don't do it when I do it. I'm not interested. It's not a pantomime. Okay. And that, of course, depends on the ratings,
Yeah,
right?
here's the figures so far. They've been pretty consistent for our show, around the 1 million mark for the Sunday broadcast. Although during week 3 we dipped to 500,000. Why, Stu? What happened? Why didn't they like us?
That week,
Why?
right? That week we were up against the Australian Grand Prix, and rather worryingly, this means that you, the public, would rather watch people being burned to death in a petrol explosion than some light-hearted comedy.
No, don't do that! No, Stu! It's what the public want to see, Stu. They want it. I love you, Trevor. I love you, but you have spurned me, and so you must pay. Like the others.
Don't do it, Rich. You have to go to that extreme. Surely there are other options before setting fire to a small-faced, flower-head man.
Like what?
We could advertise or something.
Well, all right then.
OK, right.
Off you go, Trevor.
Because out there in Britain right now is an apathetic army of couch potatoes and ragamuffins.
Sorry, Trev.
And they're all looking for a pointless cause support. We could get them to advertise us.
Yep, for free. It's time to mobilise. The Lee and Herring Child Army. Yes, here we go. You might like to advertise us by putting up an advert for us in the window of your local newsagent. There you go. Watch Lee and Herring in Toowoomranja. Good. And also you could double up, but also bike for sale there.
That's
you might like to try that.
And younger viewers could write our names in Tipp-Ex on their satchels and show them to their friends at school. There you are now.
Or, if you're a businessman in your suit and tie, you could write our names on your briefcase, like that, there. That show it to the other people in your office. So go out tomorrow, advertise us, let your imaginations run wild.
Or you can do what people who work for advertising agencies do, right? Which is just do an exact copy of someone else's film or comedy idea without paying for it, make loads of money out of it, and then spend all that on drugs. There you are.
That's what they do in the real world. So don't do that. No, send us proof of what you've done to advertise us by Thursday, or the advert itself, to the address on the screen, which will be repeated at the end of the show. You can also find out our tour details on that, remember. And whoever advertises us the best will be the king or queen of next week's show. So go for it. Yeah.
In my father's kitchen, there are many cupboards, and yet he always knows immediately in which one he keeps the whisk. This is not a metaphor, merely an example of his organisational skills.
got an apple for you, Mr. Target. I never did it when I was at school.
How about that amazing turnabout?
So, how you felt about today? Is this a worthy tribute to your 15 years of being a mother, or is it just a load
Actually,
of
it's
rubbish?
27 years of being a mother.
Is
It's
it?
been a real wow, yeah.
Well, you
Yeah.
know, folks,
Yeah.
that's
Oh,
almost
that's-
impossible to believe, isn't it?
No, she looks lovely. I can't believe it's 27. I was
Miss
surprised
Perry
you had
Barr,
a 15.
1966.
Yeah. 1966. It's an amazing thing, though, isn't it,
It is,
motherhood?
yeah.
The idea
Amazing.
of motherhood.
When I think about the actual physical process involved of being a mother, the sharing of energy resources between the mother and the unborn child and the little fetus growing from nothing, that makes me feel humble and amazed.
Slightly aroused?
Not aroused by
No,
that.
it doesn't me either. It doesn't make me feel that at all. Anyway, so I was looking at the papers today.
yeah.
They've got this genetically modified food now. Have you seen
Yeah,
that?
I
They
saw
can
that,
actually
yeah.
make
Yeah.
cows, right, without a brain.
Oh, that's a terrifying
Yeah,
thought.
It is.
Yeah.
I mean, but I think it's a good idea. Even though I'm vegetarian, I find that a good idea because I think the scientists are thinking ahead. They're trying to make sure, you know, they've seen Planet of the Apes with Charlton Heston. They're trying to make sure we never have a Planet of the Cows style situation developing.
happen, Planet of the
Frisian
Cows.
cows on horses shooting people. They don't want that to happen. Yeah. No, not just cows. Yeah. Just an example. It could be cats. Or dogs,
not
Planet
gonna
of the
happen, is it? It isn't
Chickens,
gonna
it could be anything. Or even women, Stu. Yeah.
What?
I mean, I know it sounds unlikely, but one day women might rise up over us and take over the world. One day we might have a woman Prime Minister.
Well, we've already had a woman Prime
Or
Minister.
we might have a woman king.
What, the Queen?
Like the Queen, Stu, but a woman.
Oh, right, okay, that's it.
One day women might even acquire the power of speech. It's an amazing thing to look forward to. It is.
What else do we notice in the news, actually?
Because I like this Dr. Benjamin Spock's widow. This is a fitting tribute. She danced on his hearse at his funeral, which I think, if you're watching, and if I die before you, Mrs. Benjamin Spock, will you come and dance on my coffin as well? It's a very
Tribute
fitting
to a
tribute.
man's. Can you please just thank our guests again today? And yeah, no, don't. And time to go over to Joe Unwin and the actor Kevin Eldon for
like
the
what you did
phone-in
there.
results. Thanks.
Yeah, we asked you if you wanted to see Men of Achievement 1974 in this week's show. 36% of you said yes.
22% of you said that you didn't want to see Men of Achievement.
And 42% of you, that's a staggering 259 people, said you thought the actor Kevin Eldon looked like a monkey, which he does. So here's Men of Achievement after all, because we like it.
Men of Achievement 1974. This week's Man of Achievement 1974 is Moritz Adolf Jehndorf, an Austrian author and dentist. His published works include Pie and the Tart, First Book of Puppets, and Noodlehead Stories from Around the World. His hobbies include making wine from flowers. Men of Achievement 1974.
Hooray! Now that is the end of the show. Don't forget, you can write to us at room 3306 BBC TV Centre, Wood Lane, London W12 7RJ, or visit our website at that address, or even email us at that address there.
Yeah, incidentally, our comprehensive email stuff keeps crashing and they keep on cutting us off and we lose emails and stuff. So if you're an internet server and you want to give us some free stuff in exchange for a plug and a free account, do write in and let us know, because CompuServe are rubbish.
That's
Don't
right.
go with them. That's the end of the show. Time to sing this week's song, the Mother's Day anthem, Bohemian Rhapsody by
Put
Queen.
on your Brian May wigs. Put your Brian May wigs on and stand with wigs.
Mothers everywhere.
Just kill the man. Put a gun against his head. Pull the trigger, now he's dead. My life had just begun, and now we're gonna throw it all away.
I made this.
No, I had the idea.
You didn't have the idea.
I did. I've written it down here.
Didn't I have the idea about a year ago?
You're right, my